Ba, ba, ba.
Hey! So, what kind of tea did the American colonists thirst for?
What?
Liberty! Hey guys, welcome to Just History with your host, Jay Kim. Tonight we talk about the American Revolution. We have correspondents all over in Philadelphia, including the Betsy Ross House, Independence Hall, and, of course, the Liberty Bell. And so each of these correspondents are going to talk about the significance of each landmark and why it is important to the independence of America. So let's go. So, what was the most popular dance in 1776?
What?
Independence! Next, we have Tori giving us the history on the Declaration of Independence, as it is where the U.S. Constitution was both debated and signed. Hence, it is why it is known as the birthplace of America, if you guys didn't know. So, as it served as the capital of the United States several times, mostly during the Revolutionary War, and it's so important that it's even on the back of the $100 bill.
Thanks, JK. I'm Tori, and welcome to Independence Hall. So the Declaration of Independence was created here in 1776 during the American Revolution against British forces. The colonists eventually won the war and were looking for ways to create some sort of government, and created the Articles of Confederation, which is more like a confederation between all 13 states to prevent war between them, under a central government. Any thoughts, Washington? I think he's a little bit shy today, but we'll check on him later. Under the Articles of Confederation, it did not give the government enough power to tax, and it also did not pay soldiers. Because of this, there was a rebellion called Shays' Rebellion, where people called reformers revolted against the government because the government was foreclosing many of their farms as the government didn't have enough money. Many of the leaders of the nation recognized this problem and decided to meet in Annapolis at the Annapolis Convention. Here they raised awareness about the different problems of the nation due to the Articles of Confederation and realized they had to change them as a whole. Alexander Hamilton decided there needed to be more done to the Articles of Confederation and decided to write a letter to create the Constitutional Convention, which met here in Independence Hall. So, what happened here was they completely ditched the Articles of Confederation and they created a new document called the Constitution. So here at the Constitutional Convention, they discussed important things such as, for one, representation. So they had two ideas. Basically, they had the New Jersey Plan, which discussed having 2 representatives per state, or the Virginia Plan, which had representatives based on the size of the population. Well, what's known as through the Great Compromise, or the Connecticut Plan, they merged these two and they created a bicameral legislature, which means that they have a House of Representatives, which is representative of the population, and the Senate, which has a certain amount of representatives per state. Here at this convention, they also had to discuss slavery and the representation of slaves. So they decided on a compromise again, which was called the 3/5 Clause, where only 3/5 of the population of slaves were included in the population. So at the end, all 13 colonies signed on to this new document called the Constitution, the last 2 colonies being North Carolina and Rhode Island. This document is known around the world for being a very famous document and had a large impact on America today. This was some crazy history. Back to you, JK.
Whoa, Tori! I didn't realize how much history could occur in one building. That was a lot of information. Did you guys like that? Because I liked it. Next, we have Derek, who will be introducing us to the history of the Liberty Bell. Ding, ding, ding. If you guys didn't know, the Liberty Bell didn't actually crack after the Declaration of Independence was signed. Rather, there are still debates on what made the last crack. I really wonder what the significance of creating a 2,080-pound bell was. Did you guys wonder this? So, did you guys know that when the bell rang, it made an E-flat sound? Sick, right? So, tell us, Derek, what is the Liberty Bell?
Thanks, Jess. Now I am here reporting from the Liberty Bell. This Liberty Bell was created to commemorate the 50-year anniversary of William Penn's 1701 Charter of Privileges. It was also known as the original Constitution because it granted political and religious free. So the Liberty Bell was ordered from Whitechapel Foundry with instructions to inscribe the Leviticus from the Old Testament onto the bell. The Liberty Bell was rung to call the assemblies together and to summon people for special gatherings. Despite the obvious defects, the Liberty Bell cracked as soon as it arrived in Philadelphia. So 2 local craftsmen recast it in 1752, but it cracked again. No one knows exactly what happened, but the crack got bigger, and so they decommissioned it. So after the Civil War, Americans sought for a symbol of unity, and they found that within the American flag and the Liberty Bell. Today, the bell is gently tapped in honor of Martin Luther King. Back to you, JK.
Oh, sugar. So, did you guys hear the joke about the Liberty Bell?
No.
It really cracked me up. Thanks, Derek, for the awesome information on the Liberty Bell. I learned so much. Next, we have Kira, who will be describing the history of the Betsy Ross house. So, did you guys know that the legend is that George Washington actually visited her house in Philly with the sketch of how he wanted the American flag to look like? But then Betsy Ross was like, nah, man, I don't want a 5-pointed star, but I want a 6-pointed star. I'm pretty sure my knowledge on this historical place is wrong, so now we have Kira to explain the true breakdown of the legendary house. Back to you.
Thanks, JK. And now, here we are at Betsy Ross House. Located between 2nd and 3rd Street, Betsy Ross lived here 1773 to 1786 with her husband John Ross. So, Betsy Ross was the 8th child of the 17 children her parents had. Being devoted Quakers, when she fell in love with her husband, they were not accepting to him because he was not a Quaker. The Continental Congress was seeking to promote national pride and unity, so they wanted to adopt the national flag. They wanted the national flag to be 13 stripes, alternating red and white, that the Union be 13 stars, white in a blue field representing a new constellation. Many people believe that she was a seamstress, but really she was an upholsterer. She was trained by John Webster, who was famous and talented upholsterer in Philadelphia. Betsy Ross was remarried again, but sadly her husband died, so Betsy Ross was a widow twice with several children she had to raise. George Washington often went to Betsy Ross to sew up small marks and stuff onto his jacket. Back to you, Jess Kim.
Wow, I don't know about you guys, but I am beat with all that information. It seems like we learned a lot on this episode of the American Revolution. Catch us next time on Just History. See you guys later.
All right.
Yo, G-Dub.
That's what I'm talking
What's up?
about. Now,
How the kids?
everyone, give it up
Looking good.
for the maid of
working
honor,
out? I think he's been
Angelica
working out. Looks good. Looking slim.
Toast to the groom.
We're friends though. He's just being shy. It's okay. It's okay. Oh yeah.
Go, run around, hurry.
All right, watch.
Often mistakenly. Betsy Ross. I don't even think that was a word.
Girl.
Often mistakenly. Like, what is that? Betsy Ross was.
Are you?
Wow, I don't know about you, but I am.
22.
Excuse me, Derek. Oh.
I remember that night, I just might regret that night for the rest of my days. I remember those soldier boys tripping over themselves too